I'm gonna tell you about it when I write this.
I'll say.
Yeah, I gotta tell you about it, but I'm not even gonna talk about it on the phone because it ain't nowadays.
Well, you don't have to talk about it on the phone, baby. We just gonna go right on over there and read those text messages. Do y'all mind? All right, so let's go over here and see what she was talking about. Welcome to the Unfiltered Doll, baby, where we do a little bit of cussing around here. So your parental advisory has been advised. Also, baby, listen, we may have some bad opinions and whatever it is that you're going through. If you feel triggered, baby, just remember we're not talking about you. We're talking about the people on the screen. Baby. So we are back at it reading these text messages. Unfortunately, for some of you, you've already heard these messages before. They're old. They're from 2023 of December. But phone calls from prison just recently not only unlocked a new character in the beginning of call one from the December 5th, 2023 phone call. We also are referring back to the text messages because Sonya has made it loud and clear that we are all up in the business and she will just write him instead. So let's get into that. Let's get a word of encouragement from the pastor. Would you listen to this clown? Welcome to the circus, baby.
Come back. Move forward to the future. Ask God to forgive you. Move forward. That's what I do. I get rid of anything that I don't need to help me move forward. I get in this water twice a year. Ask God to forgive me. Won't you try it? This is my key to success. This is why I keep building stronger and stronger and stronger. I really don't care who believes. I really don't care who the doctors is. I know what worked for me. If you're scared, don't come around me. Please don't. It does no good. I just want to win.
He just wants to win. You all want him to lose. And they're in the text messages, motivating one another, inspiring one another. And y'all are mad about it, honey. So let's get into it. We are going to start off with the December 13th text message. Well, we're going to summarize that, okay? Before we get started, baby, I already know what it is in the chat. And I love y'all for that, okay? Please secure your social security cards. And women, please hang on and watch your pocketbooks. This is a scam alert, all right? So let's go down here to the prison tablet to get into these messages. So just to sort of summarize what went on yesterday when we went to the text messages, Neesto is comparing his relationship with Sonya like the relationship that you had with your neighbors from the 70s, back when you would borrow eggs and milk and everybody was genuine. And no matter what the disagreement or fight was about, the woman can talk bad and talk down to her man, baby. But when it came time to get down, you bet not say nothing about Pearl Ann's husband. You bet not say nothing about Edith's husband, baby, because they're going to do what? They're going to take up for their man, my man, baby. Savannah. He's a good man, Savannah. So we are going to get into the text messages where we left off at. Let's scroll up. Please bear with me, okay? Because there's a lot of typos, all right? And I'm going to stumble and stutter, but we got this, all right? Let me start. You are so handsome. That's why I do a lot of listening now. Okay, so we're going to start right here. And this is on December 13th. And Neesto is continuing, the chat that he's having with Sister Sonya. And it says, that's why I do a lot of listening now. I'm 1000% happy with the decision. Whatever drew me to you, that magnetic energy, most people would have been selfish with our different situations. Your health condition, my incarceration being made out to be made being made out to be made Frankenstein or Dracula, complete monster. And in my eyes, everything is included by listening to someone who's just like me. You will put yourself in the line of fire for people who didn't have the courage to defend themselves or complete jealousy. It's no need to meet with Junior anymore. Junior as in Dion. There's no need to meet with Junior anymore about those papers. It's clearly none of this matters to him. Going to sign those papers and give them to Lewis and just be done with that. Now, if you don't know what he means about Dion and the papers, he wanted Dion to read the papers that were sent in the mail. And when Dion did not read those papers that were sent in the mail, he claimed that he was going to call Dion and blow on him. We all know that never happened, but this is what he had to say behind Dion's back.
And if he can't goddamn read, get a bitch to read it for him. I don't give a fuck. He needs to read what I sent to him to his office so that I can see what the real shit is.
All right, so Neesto is pissed off with his son about this paperwork. His son wants a birthday call, a birthday greeting, a birthday wish. Hell, he might want him to send him a birthday gift. But Neesto feels like you're not doing what I want you to do while I'm here in jail. I don't give a damn about your birthday. So let's continue to finish out with this. So it's no need to meet with Junior anymore about those papers. It's clearly none of this matters to him. So pretty much he wants to sign the papers and give them to Lewis and just be done with it. Sometimes you got to cut your losses. Yesterday, I got a great confirmation that the lawyer with wrong counseling. Okay, so that the lawyer somebody has wrong counseling and Junior, meaning Dion, is stuck on stupid. I don't need to put any more stress on you than you already have. In my eyes, it's clearly understood in the public that this support system is down. To one person, the only thing I can gain what was positive, that one person is you. The one thing I got positive yesterday was the confirmation from those two things and the blogger comment. Now, when we talk about the blogger comment, that is the comment that I refused to read yesterday that Sonya did copy and paste over to Neesto. Now, if you want to see the comment because I did not read it, I am going to scroll to that comment so that you can read it. Maybe you can screenshot it and you can, you can figure some things out if you want to. So here's the comment right here in the text message. Let me pull them off the screen and bump the size up so that you can see it. All right, baby, I want you to be able to see this. Let me see if I can move this a little bit. I don't think I can. So let me turn it down some. All right, do you need a little bit of time to screenshot this, sugars? It's right here on the screen for you. All right, let me go ahead and play you a little bit of hold music because I want to make sure you screenshot this, and I have to scroll down some in case you want to see the blogger comment that Sonya is sharing with Neesto. I don't know where she got this from. So, baby, you got to phone a friend if you want to find out because the doll does not have the answer for you. Let's play a little bit of elevator music. Okay, baby, it don't take that darn long to screenshot. Did you get it? I hope so, baby. Okay, it don't take that long to get no screenshot. So if you want to, read that in your own time, during your own free time, baby, feel free. I gave you time to screenshot it. And baby, if you didn't catch it, slide your button back and hit the screenshot. It only takes a couple of seconds, sugar. So let's get the people back up here on the screen. Let's get Neesto and Sonya back up here on the screen, baby, and move on. So let me pick back up where we left off, and I'm going to repeat. I don't need to put no more stress on you than you already have in my eyes. It's clearly understood in the public that this support system is down to one person. The only thing I gain what was positive, that one person is you. The one thing I got positive yesterday was the confirmation from those two things and the blogger comment that was sent to me yesterday and the Bumpy Johnson story, because I can identify to that. So he's saying that he can identify to the Bumpy Johnson story. So for those of you wanting to say to yourself, excuse me, if you don't know about Bumpy Johnson, we're going to have a moment, okay? We're going to have a moment just to get into that before we finish this message, because I want you to understand where Neesto is coming from. He is now comparing himself and his situation to what went on with Bumpy Johnson. This is a long video that I'm going to play. Hey, baby, it's you got to know when Neesto is speaking in riddle, and when he's doing a little this and that, a little razzle and a dazzle, we got to get into some things, okay, so that we're there with him. All right, so bear with me 1 second to get that video going, okay?
Notorious crime boss and kingpin, Ellsworth Raymond Bumpy Johnson was born on October 31st, 1905, in Charleston, South Carolina, to Gullah parents William Johnson and Margaret Moultrie. Johnson's family, which included 6 siblings, were impoverished and struggled to make ends meet in South Carolina's low country. As a child, he would be given the nickname Bumpy from his family members, due to a bump on the back of his head. When he was just 10 years old, his older brother Willie was accused of killing a white man. His parents, afraid of a possible lynch mob, decided to mortgage their tiny home to raise money to send Willie up north to live with relatives. As Johnson grew older, his parents also worried about his short temper and insolence towards white people, so in 1919, he was sent to live with his older sister Mabel in Harlem, New York. As a youth, some of the kids in Harlem teased and picked on Bumpy over his short stature and thick country accent, oftentimes calling him by the nickname Country. The taunts only deepened his anger and hardened him to the cold, harsh realities of New York City. He routinely skipped school in favor of hanging out with friends, hustling, shooting craps, and selling newspapers in an effort to scrape up cash. Johnson eventually dropped out of school and worked petty jobs, sweeping in front of corner stores and restaurants for free meals. Soon, him and his friends decided to offer their muscle and protection to Harlem businesses for a fee. In the early 1920s, Irish gangsters had pushed their way into parts of Harlem, extorting their businesses. This led to Harlem speakeasies and storefronts needing protection from the outside immigrant criminal element that sought to take over the neighborhood. So, when a new diner opened in Harlem on 148th Street, Bumpy and his guys convinced the owner he needed their services for protection, which he obliged. While working one day in front of the diner, Harlem gangster and godfather William "Bub" Hewlett, who controlled most of the blocks in Harlem and extorted their businesses, noticed Bumpy and confronted him. Hewlett saw a bit of himself in the ambitious youngster, so he offered him work, which Bumpy accepted, beginning his life of crime. Bumpy and his crew began offering protection to various numbers and gambling spots in Harlem. In February 1924, he stopped a would-be robbery of a wealthy numbers runner, Alex Pompez, and sliced the assailant several times in his face and stomach with his switchblade. When police arrived, Bumpy scuffled with the officers before being arrested. He was charged with assaulting an officer, resisting arrest, and attempted murder. Thanks to Pompez's connections and high-priced lawyers, Bumpy's charge was reduced down to disorderly conduct, and he was only given a year's probation. In the late 1920s, Bumpy ran numbers for Harlem numbers boss, Madame Stephanie St. Clair, a West Indian woman from the island of Martinique who immigrated to the U.S. in 1912. St. Clair started out as a domestic before creating her lucrative racketeering enterprise, earning up to $100,000 a year in the Roaring Twenties. Impressed by his quick wit and street smarts, Bumpy became the Madam Queen's close personal bodyguard and started escorting her to concerts and events. Over the next 5 years, he would do time for a series of charges. First sent to Elmira Prison for burglary and assault, and then did a 2-year bid at Sing Sing Prison for grand larceny. He was released in 1932. As St. Clair's principal lieutenant, he started a war against Jewish mob boss Arthur Flegenheimer, better known as Dutch Schultz. The Dutchman had begun muscling St. Clair's numbers operation as well as most of Harlem. So Bumpy and his crew responded with an all-out war, which resulted in more than 40 murders and several kidnappings. Johnson even reached out to Italian mob boss Lucky Luciano for support against the Dutchman, but he refused. That is, until Schultz devised a plan to kill U.S. Attorney Thomas Dewey, who was investigating him and the mafia for tax evasion. After Luciano and his commission found out of Schultz's plans and understood the heat such a move would bring to them, they called in a hit for him, and Schultz was promptly shot and killed in a diner in Newark, New Jersey, by Murder Inc. associates Charles Workman and Emmanuel Weiss in 1935. After Schultz's death, Johnson took over as the godfather of Harlem, working directly under Luciano. He was the Black American man who dared to take on the white mob and had won, keeping Black Americans in control of Harlem's streets. In 1936, the Madam Queen retired and handed over her numbers operation to Bumpy. He started to expand his empire into prostitution, gambling, and more protection rackets. That same year, he was charged with felonious assault on a pimp, who had beat up a prostitute Bumpy was offering protection to. He spent 10 years in Clinton Correctional Facility and was released in 1947. In October 1948, Bumpy married a beautiful Black American woman named Mamie Hatcher, a native of Asheville, North Carolina. The couple moved into a plush apartment on 120th and 5th Avenue, along with Mamie's daughter Ruthie and Bumpy's daughter Elise, who was from a previous relationship he had before going to prison. In December 1950, an ex-associate of Bumpy's whom he had savagely beaten and fired was arrested and charged for selling heroin to an undercover cop, but told the officers he was still working for Bumpy. The cops didn't believe him. The word on the street was that Bumpy himself did not sell drugs. He took money from the drug dealers in Harlem for the right to operate on his blocks, but he himself was not a dealer. But once the feds picked up the case, they felt they could press Bumpy to flip on the Italians he was working for, who did sell drugs. So they set up a drug bust and arrested him outside of his building for conspiracy to distribute narcotics in May 1951. Despite the charge, Bumpy maintained his innocence and claimed he was being framed by the authorities who wanted him off the streets at all costs. While out on bail awaiting trial, Bumpy was shot 3 times in June 1952 after he got into an argument at a bar, but recovered from his injuries. The following year, he was found guilty of the drug charges and sentenced to 15 years in prison. He was sent to Alcatraz and spent most of his sentence getting into fights and spending time in solitary confinement. He was released early on parole in 1963. Bumpy's return to Harlem was celebrated by the entire neighborhood. Cars and people lined up all down 125th Street to see the Godfather's return. While in prison, Bumpy still had some of his numbers spots going to take care of his family, but now, as a free man, he decided to go clean and opened a chemical business for exterminators. Bumpy was known for helping people in the neighborhood who were struggling to pay their rent and gave out turkeys on Thanksgiving to Harlem residents as well as other charitable acts. He was very much a respected leader and voice in the community. Sometime that year, Bumpy did decide to deal drugs and got involved in a cocaine smuggling ring direct from Bolivia to cut out the Italians who controlled the cocaine market in the city. But someone tipped the police off to Bumpy's plans, likely the Italians, and he was arrested and charged with conspiracy. He again posted bail while awaiting trial. By 1967, his health was failing, and he had a series of heart attacks, but recovered each time. In the early morning hours of July 7, 1968, while still awaiting trial for his federal indictment, Bumpy went to the Wells restaurant in Harlem around 2 a.m. for a late-night meal after a card game. After taking a few bites of his meal, he passed out on the floor from another heart attack and died before he could receive medical attention. He was only 62 years old. He's buried in Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx, New York. Bumpy Johnson's life has become part legend and lore, but the negative ramifications for his crimes in Harlem is very real. Extortion, pandering, assault, narcotics, and murder. Bumpy had a hand in every crime imaginable. That kind of infamy has led to him being depicted in a multitude of Hollywood movies since the blaxploitation era of the 1970s, including Hoodlum played by Black American actor Lawrence Fishburne, American Gangster, played by late Black American actor Clarence Williams III, and the TV show Godfather of Harlem, played by Black American actor Forrest Whitaker. Johnson's family contends that most of these depictions are inaccurate. So in 2008, his wife Mamie wrote a book about her life with him called Harlem Godfather: The Rap on My Husband, Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson. She died the following year. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos and go to our website, BlackAmericanMerch.com, your #1 online source for Black American clothing and accessories.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure we did do a quick background story on Bumpy Johnson, because one thing Neesto likes to do is attach himself to people to have some type of, well, yeah, they trying to do me like, you see how they doing your boy Wyatt, how they doing, what was his name, baby? Let's just say the YSL. He always would compare himself to what was going on with Young Thug. He loves to use the man with the pamper that's sitting there in the office running the country. He loves to use his thing that he had going on with Fulton County, comparing it to his. He loves to compare his situation with other people, and there's no similarities whatsoever. The only thing I can say that you have in common with Bumpy Johnson is that you commit crimes, you were back and forth in jail, and that's it. That's all I got for you. Okay, baby, that's all I got for you. Y'all can let me know what you think in the comments down below. I like to talk back, or if we have a live chat going on, let me know your thoughts and what you think. If you would like to follow that page on TikTok for more stories and information, let me go ahead and grab. I thought I had that. Give me a second, you guys. I want to make sure I put that up here. I'll put that up in a second. All right. So let's finish, you guys. So this is the page on TikTok. If you would like to go to their page and support their TikTok storytelling. All right. So one thing I got positive yesterday was the confirmation from those two things and the blogger comment that was sent to me yesterday and the Bumpy Johnson story, because I can identify to that. You will be telling my story because the way you dictate your father, I can totally reconcile the way he used to think. So I know my story will be told by a great woman, because all that was said last night, the most important part he didn't say was that Bumpy Johnson had a girlfriend. Oh my God, Lord have mercy, somebody please. Okay, my God. You know what? So Sonya says, that's exactly right. Sometimes you cannot engage in people's conversations too deep. Just let them talk and think what they want to think. It's so hard to change a person's mind. So why bother if it's not that serious? I feel the same way. It is like the 70s, laugh out loud. I just wish your team was a lot better. But okay, not everybody's built for it. And you didn't completely raise your children. It was more than mothers and a lot of women. Oh, well, no, wait a minute. Now, what is this? Now, wait a minute now. Did you just say what we all been saying? I just wish your team was a lot better. But okay, not everybody is built for it. And you didn't completely raise your children. It was more than mothers and a lot of women that show negative emotions around their children and did not realize it affects them as an adult. Oh, I wonder what he has to say to that. Her saying that he didn't completely raise his children. Going through this, I realized how much hate females push out in the world and never take accountability, which is everything. We'll be okay. I'm strong enough for the both of us. As much as you tried to be in his life, he was mostly raised by his mother, and it shows. No shade. I'll try to meet with him today to get the paperwork, but I'm done after that. I can't cater to that type of personality. He needs to set up a text on his phone so he can text you directly. Good morning, my love. So what do you all think about that, honey? Pretty much Sonya let him know that she knows that he didn't really have a hand in raising Dion. That's what she has said, baby. And pretty much since he was raised by his mother, this is why he behaves and acts the way he does with his daddy. So, baby, what do y'all think about that, T, honey? Y'all let me know down there in the comments or in the chat, okay? So let's move on to the next message. Sonya lets Edith and Shirley's husband during this time know, you are so handsome. How's your heart emotionally? I'm trying to run errands before the baby comes over. I miss you. Okay, that's what she had to say to Edith and Shirley's husband. Now, this next message, I think Neesto realized he had a bunch of typos going, so he did the message over again. We don't need to read that again. We've already done all of that, okay? So, correction for it's supposed to be my health. Okay, yeah, we don't care. Neesto, we already struggled with the damn typos, so we're just going to move on. He's explaining to Sonya about all of the typos, and she says, it's cool, we're solid, flaws and all. All right, so let's get my face back up here because I'm annoyed right now, okay? So Sonya says here, your dad told me. Okay, so I think what she's doing now is letting him know what she sent to Dion via a text message. So this is still going on December 13th. The dates are off. So if you see December 19th, I think it has everything to do with when the message was sent and when it was received or when it was read. I don't know, baby. I'm not in the jailhouse to explain the logistics. Okay, so let's get into this message. So she's saying that he, as in Dion, sent some audio response saying, I'm on the phone talking to a married man. He don't trust me and called me a bitch. Oh my God. Dion, brother Dion. Let me bump this up some to see what y'all can see. Okay, cool. So it says here that, I don't know if I need to read this right here. Your dad told me not to worry about meeting you for the paperwork. So I found it in August. I sent this to your son. Okay, so let me start right here. So Sonya sends this to Neesto, and this is what she sent to Dion. It says, your dad told me not to worry about meeting you for the paperwork, and I'm going to say this and you can get mad. But I feel like it is sad that his whole family shows very little support and the little help that I do ask for to save this man's life. I cannot get this man looking at the rest of his life in prison, in which he said he will kill himself if he gets sentenced 10 or more years. He's not going to jail for something he did not do. So that's going to be on your conscience for the rest of your life. Whoever supposedly cares for this man, I just think it's sad that me alone is trying to save this man's life. And I don't want to worry about calling, and don't worry about calling me anymore. I'm done. If you want to contact him, you need to set up the text system through GTL on your phone like I did when I found him in August 2022 in jail. I sent this to your son. So let's do this one more time. All right, because I'm going to try to read this without all of the, typos and all of that. So basically she's saying, your dad told me not to worry about meeting you for the paperwork, and I'm going to say this and you can get mad. But I feel like it's sad that the whole family shows very little support and concern, and a little help that I am asking from you all to save this man's life, I can't get. This man is looking at the rest of his life in prison, and he told me that he's going to kill himself if he gets sentenced to 10 or more years. He said he is not going to jail for something that he did not do. And if this happens, that is going to be on your conscience and the rest of whoever else is caring for this man. I just think that it's sad that me alone is trying to save this man's life. And don't worry about calling me anymore. I'm done. If you want to contact him, you need to set up your own text messages through the GTL on your phone like I did. So this is the message that she sent to Dion. And then she tells Neesto, he sent some audio response saying that I'm on the phone talking to a married man. He don't trust me. And then he called me a bitch. I expected that much from how he moved in the past, but I had to put it out there to him. Maybe he'll step his game up, maybe not. I'm sorry for you that this is your life. It's funny how people try to go for the marriage dig. That ship sailed when two men could get married. Oh, wow. So she's saying that when people try to dig at her for talking to a married man, all of that sailed and went out the window when two men were able to get married. It's what you make it. Real talk. The only thing to focus on is your freedom. Everything else will sort itself out. So sorry, love you. So pretty much Sonya is saying she doesn't even believe in vows. She doesn't believe in marriage and the religion and the rights and the wrongs of what people should be doing in their relationship. I'm speculating right now. This is what I think she's saying, that she really doesn't give a damn what you all say about her talking to Shirley and Edith's husband, because if two men can now get married, we can't even take any of this serious. That's how I read it. Let me know what you think. Also, do you think Sonya was wrong to tell Dion that his father is in jail, threatening to harm himself if they sentence him to something that he did not do because he is not guilty? Do you think it was okay for her to go to Dion and let him know, hey, your father is dealing with that. I'm out here trying to save his life. And if he does harm himself, because if he gets sentenced to do, to the 10 years or more for something that he didn't do, you have to deal with that, not me. How do you feel about that? Did she have a right to do that? Was she out of line doing that? Let's see how Neesto handles this situation. Okay, let me go ahead and put this face up right here. She lets Neesto know to call her now. And I need to bump this down some because I can't see who's sending who. And Neesto says, okay, thank you, love. Neesto says, good morning, love. Of course, she returns the greeting, good morning, love. Ernest says, don't forget to GoFundMe today. What? Boy. Good morning again. Don't forget to do your GoFundMe today. The support system is down to one person. The only thing I gain, what is positive, is that one person is you. The only thing I got positive yesterday was the confirmation. So what he's doing is, we're going to talk about Bumpy Johnson again. We've already done that, but we need to continue what he was trying to say about the girlfriend part of Bumpy Johnson. Okay. So we're going to read this again. I'm not repeating myself. He's doing a copy and paste of his messages to continue them or to clean them up because of the previous typos. Okay. So he's saying here, good morning again. Don't forget to do your GoFundMe today. The support system is down to one person. And the only thing I gain what is positive is that one person is you. The only thing I got positive yesterday was the confirmation from those two things that the blogger said that was sent to me today in the Bumpy Johnson story, because I can identify to what you will be telling my story, because the way you dictate your father, I can totally reconcile the way he used to think. So I know my story will be told by a great woman, because after all of that was said last night, the most important part he didn't say is that Bumpy Johnson had an ex-girlfriend that still believed in him, had the background support that pushed him to do more because she understood his hustle mentality, because her father was the same way. That's how she obtained her riches and her generation wealth. So I can't wait to get out so you can hold my hand to the future. Oh, look at that love story. Are you enjoying this love story? You let me know in the chat or in the comments. Okay? Let me know.
What I provide? I'm the loving pimp. I sweet talk them. I bathe them. I woo them. Every time I touch her, she said, woo, daddy.
Come on, Neesto. Y'all look at the lovebirds. Shirley said, boy, bye. Shirley got the hell up on out of there. Yes, she did, honey. So let's continue with the messages. They're just, exchanging short form text here. Okay. saying, yes, sir, love was her response. And she says, it's done. I will mention it on the next live tomorrow. Neesto says, okay, boss. And then he says, do you think all of the work I put in the community by giving back will show respect with great honor by showing me love when I need it the most right now? So now they're going to spin off on the Bumpy Johnson, is what I assume, okay? He said, I know my story will be told by a great woman because after all of that was said last night, the most important part he didn't say is Bumpy Johnson had an ex-girlfriend that still believed in him, had the background support that pushed him to do more because she understood his hustle mentality, because her father was the same way. That's how she obtained her riches and her generational wealth. So I can't wait to get out so you can hold my hand to the future. I am not repeating myself. What he is doing is going back, reading his messages, realizing that they don't make sense. So he resends the message so he can clean up the typos. If I'm too loud, baby, turn your microphone down. Not your microphone. Baby, take your headset out or turn your volume down, okay, baby? Because I'm talking into the good laptop with the good speaker. Yes, I am. All right, so let's get into what she's saying. Sonya says to that, it's hard to say some people like to take and not give back. It's not that kind of a world, but people are starting to come around. And the channel is working because they're not sounding as cold towards you. It's a couple of people saying some things, but it's not the mass majority. I just hope we get enough funding for your new attorney. That's my biggest concern. Neesto is asking her, did the lawyer for the lawsuit call you back yet? Baby, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is going to be all right. Don't worry about a thing. Is that what it's giving, baby? Because every little thing is going to be all right. This is my message to you. I love you no matter what. Baby, one thing Neesto is going to do is pull out some BS, baby, and pull him a few lyrics from a song.
Don't worry about a thing.
He told Sonya, baby, because every little thing is going to be all right. Yes, he did, honey. And let her know, I love you no matter what. Now, y'all wish y'all had a man talking to y'all like that is how it's coming. Huh? What y'all got to say about that, honey? Do y'all husbands, does your sneaky link, does your boyfriend, fiance, your girlfriend, your wife, does she talk to you? He talk to you? Do they talk to you? If you out here with a couple of people, some of y'all got a husband, a wife, some of y'all got a husband, a boyfriend. Honey, are they talking to you like this? Oh, I think y'all mad. Sonya says, oh, always here. So, they do all the good mornings and you good and all of that. Good morning, handsome. And it is now December 15th. And Sonya says, Neesto, how are you feeling? I was under the weather. I called 3 attorneys and I have to find a different one. Keep your head up, they say. What's crazy is when I did the live a couple of days ago, someone asked me, do I know Erica, the co-defendant? And I think because they came on at different times and they really don't hear what's being said prior to coming on the live feed, sometimes I was getting a repeat of questions. But the calls clearly state, I don't know anyone you know. They hear what they want. Love you. Now, baby, you need to leave Erica alone because how did she get into this, baby? She didn't ask to be in this. Erica said, keep her damn name out your mouth, okay? So we're going to stop right there and continue on another day because I want to make sure you all are okay with us going back to these text messages based off of whatever phone call is dropped. And I want you to let me know, should we continue with the text messages? Let me know how you feel in the live chat premiere if we have one going, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, baby, if you don't mind. All that we ask of you to do is to hit that like button, baby, because that does what? It helps us get into the algorithm. All opinions do matter, okay, baby? You can hit the like, hit the dislike button, baby. Just don't hit me or hit yourself in the head. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, baby. And I am out of here. Have an amazing day. Bye.